Bee and the Rose. Once upon a time, there was a bumblebee who loved a flower. This was not so unusual, as bees often fall in love with the flowers in their gardens. But what was unusual was that this bee was in love with a rose. Roses, as you know, are the monarchs of the garden. They are too fine and lovely for common things like bees. But this rose was different from the others, and she loved her bee as just as much as he loved her. One day, the queen was walking through the garden, and she said to the gardener, "From now on, I should like you to cut me a bouquet of roses every Sunday." The gardener promised he would do so. It was a simple enough request to him, but to the rose, who loved the bee, it was terrible. "A bouquet of roses," she cried, "every Sunday? What will I do? I don't want to be cut and put into a vase with other roses. I want to stay out here in the good, soft earth and be with my beloved bee." "Don't worry, my love," said her beloved bee. "I have a plan." The bee then flew to the place in the garden where the daisies grew. The daisies, like all the flowers, were fond of the bee, and when he asked for help, they were only too happy to give it. Why I recommend the bee and the rose? Well, moral and character. So there's a great deal to talk about with this story. So it's a story about loving someone for who they are and not what they look like. And of course, you won't know that until you actually read the full story. Being honest with others and yourself. Again, there's another part in the story where it is revealed that the bee is hiding something, but later on is honest with the rose. Being kind and helpful in the face of adversity. So this story, the rose is put into a dangerous situation, and the bee is still willing to help, even though the bee is putting itself in danger. Being content no matter what changes occur in one's life. So again, there's something in the story I can't tell you, but it's about being okay with whatever happens in your life, being willing to accept changes that you may not have thought would happen. Now, language acquisition. Common everyday words in combination with a range of advanced terminology. So in the story, there's a lot of words that are easily understood. But of course, there are some words in there that are, naturally sprinkled in through the story that even someone who wants a bit more of a challenge or wants to learn some words will actually learn from this story. So it's good from basic learners all the way up to even advanced learners. Accessible usage of past, present, and future tenses. So this story, of course, uses all the different tenses, but past and future are not constructed in a way that would confuse a reader. And of course, the parts where it's present, it makes sense. Usually it's when the characters are talking with each other. Now, the story framework is under a fairy tale, which does create a progression flow any age can understand and relate to. Fairy tales are commonly and frequently used to teach children and even older people about morals, and again, they're especially great for language acquisition because it's a story that you can understand even if you don't fully understand every single word in the story. So that is why I recommend The Bee and the Rose.